How to build serious wealth without investing one single dollar. Now, most of you are probably super skeptical and say, well, that's not possible. Those of you that are higher end and say, well, I have dollars, a lot of these strategies will work, so stay tuned. Let's talk about why most people are trying to invest and they're looking around an investing strategy and they have absolutely no money to actually build the wealth from, or even base skills. Number two, how do you actually build wealth through a company, which is actually my favorite. It's what I've done, and I bootstrapped from nothing and made millions. So you can do it too. And then third, the sequence that the wealthy people follow. And we make money, we invest it. There's a simple answer. Let's get to some details. You can absolutely build significant wealth without investing a single dollar. And it's going to start with your core operating company. What do you do to make money? Now, get a job. And if you need more money, get a second job. That's a different pathway than we teach. We're teaching how do you be a 3 to 5 year millionaire. And almost every millionaire does two things really well. They're either a high income earner and they have an operating company. Like I have a lot of high income earners. They're buying franchises right now. They are picking up other people's already up and running companies. If I could pick one up today, I pick up an HVAC or an electrician business in a minute because those are going to be invaluable in the future. So they're either picking up an extra cash machine or building one with their family. And then they're investing in alternative assets. So how do you actually get the business started? So in the beginning, your first company should be something easy, simple. You're not going to do an invention. You're not going to do some big product line because you're going to need a lot of capital for that. Most startup companies that you're going to do, you're going to start as service-based. You're going to start with consulting. You're all brilliant at something. You just need to learn to monetize it. Most of you give all of this content away for free. You give what's between here away for free. You don't have a value to it. So you want to monetize a funnel of what could you teach someone? I have a bank executive and I said, his level of financial knowledge, so he could do all sorts of financial analysis as a to-do for people, or he could just teach people how do you analyze deals financially and actually just hang his banner and be a financial consultant. Plus he's licensed to do it. Sweat equity is a real thing. I have done sweat equity, like I said, for almost all my companies. So you're going to start with nothing and just start making money. And as you make the money, you're going to start hiring people and increasing your technology. With all the tech and AI that's out there, there's not an excuse for any of you not to be able to start a business like that. You want it incorporated from the beginning. Do not say a sole proprietor. Part of the build of wealth is also to get your corporate and your family's financial credit worthiness higher. So you have your personal credit, which is under your Social Security number. And for every company you start, let's just say you start 2 or 3, they have a corporate credit as well. So now you have 4 sources of credit. So funding is there, but you've got to start them and you've got to start the companies to get the money rolling through them. The first 100,000 as you go into your company, I'm going to tell you it's the hardest work you'll ever do in your life because you've been trained. All of us in the world have been trained to be employees, not entrepreneurs. So learning to market in this space of very aggressive technical advances like an AI, the optimization of that, learning to sell in a consumptive environment, learning to manage cash flow. Those are 3 things you're never going to be taught. And even if you go to an entrepreneurial school, we have a new client, their kids are both in entrepreneurial colleges right now getting a bachelor's degree, a bachelor's of science in entrepreneurship. And I said, is that really where you want them to be spending that money there? And if you look at the teachers, most of them are used to teach business administration. They really ever owned a company? Are they truly an entrepreneur? Most entrepreneurs and wealth builders and people who write books and do all of this kind of learning, they've done it through mentors, through guides, through gurus, through paying for the support and the education, not through traditional institutes. So you can do both, but you've got to learn. The middle class tend to just go get jobs and hope they're going to work for 20, 30, 40 years. And it's all going to work out through them and their 401k. That is not how wealthy people do it. We actually build companies. And typically the first asset we invest in is real estate. And a lot of times you're going to buy the real estate of which your company is going to be either renting the space from or inside of it, they consume the whole building. I used to own a conference center in Lake Tahoe, and we had some of the spaces rented and got so big we consumed the entire building in every room and every nook and cranny that we could get in there. So those are typically the 2 biggest places where you want to start. But how do you start building wealth without a single penny? It's a company. If you go to the asset classes, so let's go to the next topic. How could you start if you needed money? You're going to look for number 1, OPM. Who has money? And I would say you don't want that money without experience. So I would get either OPM or OPC, other people's credit, and some experience. So go to people who have done what you want to do and have them sort of be that mentor guide by either borrowing into using their credit so you can actually get some money through loans, or you use their money and have them stay alongside of you. They have a high incentive to do that because they're going to want their money back plus a percent. If they want a big percent of your company, I wouldn't do it. I would stay in debt. I would just borrow. So if you say you need $100,000, I first would say outline the use of funds. What do you need the $100,000 for? A lot of you use the excuse that I got to have this money before I can go make money. And when I say what's the use of funds, you don't even know what that is. Use of funds is how you're going to use the money if you had it. So if you had $100,000, how would you spend it? Would you spend it on marketing? Would you spend it on sales? Would you go get yourself a new car? Like, what would you do to actually use that money to make money truly? And most people don't have enough sophistication in the beginning to do that. So again, in sequence, I would build a company, use the company, put as much money away as you can. In the show notes, I have an iFlip account. It's a place where most of all of us in this community put our money. It's an AI-driven software into folios that take you in and out of the stock market upon a very, very specific algorithm. So you can make money, put it away. As you get enough money, say in iFlip, 25, 30, 40, 50,000, now you start looking for real estate and you start pulling that money. So you have a cycle of money that you're making actively, putting it away. iFlip, you can use a money market account if you want, or some other account. And then you accumulate enough for down payment, and then you start buying real estate or different asset classes that are of your choice. But that's the typical pattern. Now, before I get to the finale of this conversation and the bigger sequence of the wealthy, I want you to subscribe to my channel, click the notification button, be here 5 days a week. I'm here 5 days a week. I'll produce content all day for you. And if you have certain topics that you want to learn about, go get the playlist and just download a playlist. If you want to binge watch, which is even better, because I know if you watch 25 hours of this content, you're going to be hooked. You're either going to be totally in and say, I want to live corporate life, or you're going to say, I'm going to go back and just like be safe and stable. And I'm not even going to say what we do is not safe. I think what we do is safer. What you're doing is risking working for someone else, and 2020 could come along and you have no job. So build your own company. That's how you build wealth. So the sequence of the wealthy, again, number one, you're going to build your cash machine. You're going to build this business from nothing. I want you to bootstrap it. You can all do it. I mean, I bootstrapped personal training to aerobics instruction. Back in the day, you didn't have to have certifications. I got them as they came to light. You could do personal shopping. You could do a VA service. You could do videography. There are so many things you could do, but you have to start executing. So build a company, number one, get that underway. Number two, use that business income. Again, take off a portion as you can, put it into a money market or iFlip account. So you start building that make money, invest money pattern, which is what you want. You don't want make spend. You want make invest. You want to use an entity to activate the greatest tax code. So now as you make the money, you get to write off more of what you used to spend in personal expenses into business deductions. Then start truly looking at where do you want to put your money. And again, I would not go out on your own. Find some partners, find people. That's what I did. In 1999, I found 11 people who were doing a lot of real estate in Oklahoma City. I flew in. I actually had a big database. From that database, they used it. They raised an amazing amount of money. I learned how to do it. So I was on the sideline, but I came with a database and I came with a lot of time on my hands to go become a millionaire in real estate. But I did it with a team who was way advanced. So we won, and we won fast. I also like blended returns, which means if you have, say, 50,000, do 2 projects with 25 and 25. If you put all your eggs in one basket, you got 100% of a problem. If you do 2 projects, at least you have a 50-50 chance. If you can grow to say 100,000 and you can do 4 25s, now you even have a 25% chance. So you want to look at that risk analysis of a blended return, reduces your risk significantly of losing everything, and do it with more mature teams. To go out there on your own with your buddies, say from the fire station or, the school, because you all teach together and we're all going to do something together and you're all beginners, really a bad idea. And so many of you do that. You do collaborative projects versus very strategically, you're going to find an advanced mentor who knows what to do, and they're going to take you to the streets to do it. So again, build a company, start putting money away, start looking at your money rules, and start investing in alternative assets. And then we're going to put together the 5th, which is probably in a year or so after the business is up a little. We'll put together a more sophisticated wealth plan that has some generational legs to it, has a trust, life insurance, and things like that. So there is a path to wealth. You can all do it. You just got to begin. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL. Ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.